Paul, what's your biggest takeaway from Alabama surviving Florida on Saturday in the Swamp?
I think the fact that Alabama is beatable. And 2 weeks ago, I don't think we really thought that was possible. We thought they would run the table, maybe get bruised by Georgia in the SEC championship game, but they were very vulnerable on defense. And that's the one side of the ball we kept being told by the insiders. Elite, one of Nick Saban's best. Well, we didn't see that Saturday. This was a game Alabama had in hand. They were up 21-3 in one of the most difficult arenas in college football, and they let the game get away. They gave up a 99-yard drive. They really had to hang on because Florida missed an extra point. They had to go for two. They saved their worst play call of the day for the two-point conversion, and it still wasn't over. Alabama just simply could not put that game away, and that has to be a problem when you look about what is ahead. A week from this coming Saturday, Alabama will entertain Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin has one of the most explosive offenses in the country, maybe the best quarterback in the country. The next week, they go to College Station to take on Texas A&M, and then the rest of the SEC West continues to pile up. So I'm not writing Alabama off. They're still the #1 team in the country, but I would have to be very concerned.
Hey, Paul, why do some people think that this team over the last couple of weeks just don't look like a Nick Saban-ish type team?
Well, a couple of things, Keyshawn, especially against Florida, they didn't move the ball very well on the ground. I mean, they really gained almost nothing on the ground. And Bryce Young is really solid. Some have criticized him for not taking more chances. I'm not going to do that. I think he can look around and see the best way to continue the season is doing exactly what he is doing, is throwing the ball and not trying to be a hero. But the defensive line got just eaten alive, and that is a concern, Keyshawn, because we know Alabama piles up 5 stars by the bushel-full, and you have to wonder, are they being coached correctly? They're also not tackling very well. Some coaches are telling me they didn't hit hard in the lead up to the season, which we're seeing a lot more of. But ultimately, they still have a really good team. They're just not in a class of their own at the moment.
Well, let's talk about another head coach and his team. Actually, him and Nick Saban coached together when they were at the Miami, the Dolphins in 2006, which is fascinating to kind of see these styles and how they combat. How does Georgia stack up against Alabama, Paul?
Right now, Georgia's defense looks like the best in the country. The concern, Jay Will, about Georgia is the offense. They scored. They beat up South Carolina pretty badly the other night, but that's not an accomplishment. They will be challenged a lot more than that. J.T. Daniels is back. He looked pretty good. So the question really at Georgia is how explosive can they be? But overall, they look, I wouldn't say the equal of Alabama, but they're certainly on the same shelf with Alabama right now in college football, and it is chaotic. You really have two what I would call elite teams, Alabama and Georgia, and then you're searching right now for that next team.
All right, so how about when you got Arkansas in a big game coming up against Texas A&M? I've heard a couple people talk about Texas A&M being a little bit underrated, Paul. I don't know how you feel, but obviously this is a colossal game. I saw what Arkansas was able to do to Texas. But, does Texas A&M have a chance to really be that team to kind of sneak in and nobody's really paying attention to?
Well, right now, I'm not certain of that. They lost the quarterback, Haynes King, in the Colorado game. I mean, they barely beat Colorado. Their backup quarterback Calzado seems like he won that game for them, but this is really their season. Everyone in College Station has been pointing toward the Alabama game on October 8th as the be-all end-all. Remember last year that was the only loss they had, a 28-point loss, and it kept them out of the playoffs. But if they don't survive this game, they're going to really be in a free fall. And Arkansas is just this unsung team, Jay Will, that nobody gave any credit to. Last year they were 3-7. It seemed like they were a lot better than that, but they blew a couple of games at the end. The year before, they didn't win a single conference game. But in the second year under Sam Pittman, a coach that was on nobody's list. I mean, this is a career offensive line coach. He was at Georgia. You would never have thrown his name into any search. He got this job. He has won the state over. And this would be, beating Texas was one thing. Beating Texas A&M is another level. And I think Texas A&M's season is on the line this Saturday. I talked to Jimbo Fisher yesterday. You can tell he is not thrilled with the play of his team. But he is somebody who keeps getting contract extensions, as we all know, and this is really critical for him. This is not a game I think he looked at before the season and thought, I have to worry about winning this game. Now he does.
Will Haynes King come back? Is there any timeline on him coming back, Paul?
Yes, he's expected to be back sometime in mid to late October. But by then, Jay Will, it may not matter if they lose this game Saturday and then Alabama the next week. He can come back and lead them to a nice bowl game, but they're not playing for any championships.
Did Jim finally figure it out with Ohio State losing early? Will he be able to beat them at the end of the year and maybe find himself in the college football playoffs?
It's possible. They have Rutgers this week, and then they start getting into the meat of the schedule with Penn State and other big games. I mean, they certainly look better than they have in a long time, which isn't saying anything. But I'll give Jim credit. His job was on the line. He saved his job. We've been down that road before, and ultimately he's got to keep doing this. I think we're reading a lot into the early going, and I don't want to dissuade any of my close friends in Ann Arbor, and there are at least 2 or 3 people that would give me the time of day up there. So I hope so. I mean, I think it would be an exciting story to see Jim Harbaugh competing, but don't forget, Penn State, I think, may be the team to beat. Michigan State looks very good after going down and putting Manny Diaz's career in peril in Miami over the weekend. So, I mean, we are just now starting to get to the meat of the Big Ten schedule. I'm not reading too much into it yet.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.